And he may have a first down, Kelly.
He's got it. Yep, first down. First and goal.
Ryan, you're down in the sideline. Metamora, if they can take this in and score, that's a huge momentum. You go from the 20-yard line all the way down and score. That's huge.
Yeah, and it kind of kills any excitement that you have at the beginning of the game for LaSalle-Peru to just immediately be down 6, 7, or 8-0 is going to be huge. And you're right, Kelly. We do look fast.
Yeah, it's quite something. I mean, our turf field last week I thought would make us look fast, but it's just a whole different level this week.
Oh, touchdown, Nick Rhodes. They keyed on Jadon, and he pulled it. There was nobody out there.
Well, we did so many different things on that first series. It was very, very impressive.
Kelly, is that one of the most impressive drives you've seen from Metamora? I mean, it's being diverse.
Makes me think, you want to sound old, Scott? Makes me think back to, we went down to Roxana in 1996. And the first 4 plays, it was first down, touchdown. And that.
But we did it all by running.
This kind of looked like that, except, with some through the air.
Oh, wow. Wow. He just got behind the big boys and just walked into the end zone.
Hey, pretty good start. I know Ryan Vogel has his feelings hurt watching us not kick an extra point right there. As former exceptional Redbird kicker, he was really impressed with the LP kicker warming up, as you already said.
Hey, 8 points is better than 7.
I gotcha.
Good point. Good point. So when LP comes onto the field, the 2 guys that I think impressed me in watching the video of them against East Moline were their quarterback, Brandon Boudreau, who his dad used to be the offensive coordinator. He's not anymore. And then number 13, Brady Romanoli, very hard-nosed, not a real big guy, but, man, he's a little spark plug. Romanoli only goes 5'5", 155. Boudreau, the quarterback, he goes 6'2", 200.
So last week we pooched on every kickoff, and I'm curious to see if we do the same thing this week. I saw in the sophomore game tonight, Tommy Sopko put a ball down in the end zone, so he is capable of doing it. I'm just curious to see what we do. Oh, it's another pooch. So LP will set up shop at the 45, Scott, and I know the point of a pooch is we're trying not to get the ball out of bounds. We don't want to kick it out of bounds, and we certainly don't want to kick it down to a burner at the 5-yard line that can return it all the way. But that 45-yard line, that's 25 yards of extra space that we didn't have on our first drive.
Oh, no. It looks like Adam Sloan looked like he kind of went down hard on that play. Nice play by the senior defense.
We know that Mark Frederick is not in the house tonight. He's homesick, and somebody with better eyes than I have is going to have to tell me who's in there on defense for him. I can't see that.
Okay. That was Adam Sloan. He's been a really good player for Metamora, 2-year starter at defensive tackle, and nice play by Metamora. Brings up a 2nd and about 13. That's a nice play.
So, Scott, last week Sterling had a lot of trouble running the football against us, and it was inconclusive whether that was because we were so fantastic or they were a little bit inept or some combination of both. I'm really, really interested to see how it goes tonight. So far, first 2 plays, really impressive by the defensive front line of the Redbirds.
Brings up a 3rd and 11. Now, Boudreau did show that he had a little bit of an arm last week against East Moline, so Metamora's going to have to, play a solid defensive game here.
Again, another play that's pretty hard to defend. Held him a little bit short of the first down, and here we go already with a big play.
Brings up a 4th and 1.
Definitely 4-down territory if it's our football. Some other teams play these things differently in the first quarters of games.
The old NCIC, this is definitely a punting situation.
Yep. Got to be disciplined on defense and not jump. Boy, that's pretty impressive.
Is that, that's number 16, Stephen
Petrie with a great play. Yep, absolutely great play.
And Metamora will take over in great field position at about the 48-yard line.
Well, so the Redbirds had the ball once and drove 80 yards. LP had the ball once and drove 7 yards. I'd say that's the kind of start you were hoping for, Scott.
Yeah. We come out the way we finished that last drive with Cranford and Rhodes in the Metamora backfield. That's okay because he got hit pretty good there.
That's what it would have looked like had I tried to throw that ball, Scott. That one was a little bit tricky.
You think you could have got that far downfield?
No way, no chance, no chance. And if I got hit like that, that'd be the end.
Bring in life flight?
I don't know.
Brings up a 2nd and 10, but we've already seen more passes than probably we thought we'd see this first quarter.
That, in fact, is true, sir.
4 for 5 so far for Metamora. Cranford in the... wait a second.
That's Petrie, right? Nope,
no,
that's not. Just kidding.
That's Evan
That's
Kyle.
Evan Kyle, yep.
Boy, he gets through the hole in a hurry too, doesn't he?
He sure does. And, Scott, I love this diversity early in the game. You know that when we play Washington a week from tonight, it's going to be really hard if you just want to pound. And so showing some of this stuff really gives me some encouragement that we can do this a week from now.
Oh, we can do this. Nick Rhodes did this all last year at the JV level. He was every week he was the best quarterback on the field.
High praise from you right there.
And Metamora will take a timeout. 4:26 to go. First quarter. Redbirds up. Hanover's Pub. Kitchen's open late every weekend. See you on the square. Kirby Foods. Be sure to check out their signature Kirby items in the deli and meat department. Kirby Foods is proud to be 100% employee-owned. So when the Redbirds come out of this timeout, Kelly, it'll be a 3rd and 5. They're saying 3rd and 4 on the scoreboard, but
yeah, you're in 4-down territory, so you got 2 downs to get 4 or 5 yards. The playbook is wide open. Coach Dolinsky can call whatever he feels like here. Probably it'll work, and if it doesn't, you still got 4th down. There's no chance we're punting if it's 4th and under 3 yards.
Yeah, because you're right. I think Metamora is very confident right now. They're playing with a lot of confidence right now.
Yep. Boy, I wish we had a camera on the west side of the field. This home side of the bleachers is a neat thing to look at. They got a great student section, a big band. Rhodes pulls it. Yep.
And he'll get a first down. Every week I'm more and more impressed with Nick Rhodes.
I'm super impressed with the first week and a quarter of Nick Rhodes. He's come in with high expectations, and he's delivered so far, just exquisite so far.
You know, you really got to hand it to the kid. He really worked his butt off to become a good starting quarterback at Metamora, and it's nice to see all that hard work paying off.
For sure, at a position that's always traditionally been the most important one in our program.
That was Stephen Petrie on the carry. Boy, you know, we're just changing it up, Kelly. Just keep changing it up. You had Petrie in there for that play, and it was a straight run play, pickup of about 6 yards, makes it a 2nd and 4. Now you can do all kinds of things.
Anything you want. I think I saw Ryan Vogel sticking on a helmet a minute ago. He's trying to get the ball next.
After this play, we'll go down to Ryan Vogel. Once again, we got Cranford back in the Redbird backfield. That looks like it's Evan Kyle also in the backfield, maybe a lead blocker. That stutter step is really effective.
Yeah, it's pretty much unfair. That should be disallowed. How do you stop that? I think LP agrees with that. LP currently saying, how do we stop that, Coach? I think they stopped Metamora for a 5-yard gain right there and felt really good about it.
They bring a 1st and 10 right on the 30-yard line. I can't see who that was to.
That's Avery Grebner, and I like getting him the ball in space. Even though he had nobody in front of him to block for him, it's him trying to go one-on-one against the defender, and I like his chances in general.
He picked up 3 yards.
The thing I like about Avery Grebner is he's always doing things that are smart. He's a glue guy. He's going to do good things on offense, good things on defense, good things on special teams. He's the kind of kid you can absolutely rely on.
He just kind of knows when the journey needs to be over, and he just puts his head down and gets what he can get. Brings up a 3rd and 3.
Boy, Nick Rhodes.
Nick Rhodes with an easy, untouched touchdown, Metamora.
And again, good discipline by Shaffron out on the edge, not doing anything silly in terms of blocking. It wasn't necessary. Good stuff again, Scott. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's as many touchdowns as we scored against LaSalle-Peru the last couple of years. I get the feeling that's maybe not the last one of the night, though.
No, I agree. We're still got a minute 54 to go here in this first quarter.
And as Ryan said, 2 points is better than 1.
I walked in. Petrie just, what Al Mulberry say, he cantered in from the 3-yard line?
Well, Scott, I know we were hoping to see improvement tonight. We were hoping to see us be sharp right off the bat. And goodness, the first 10 minutes have been nothing short of spectacular. We've run 2 big long drives all the way down the field. LaSalle-Peru's run 3 offensive plays for a grand total of 7 yards. You can't get much better than that.
Yeah. It's you know, our defense set us up with great field position by holding them on 4th down, and you know, our offense has responded. And the nice thing of it is we have very few guys going both ways. So.
Yep. So we're not going to be perfect. We're not going to be error-free the entire season, but it is really nice to see a quarter with no balls on the turf. You know, no silly penalties. There's been really nothing on the negative side this whole first quarter.
We just dominate that offensive line, the line of scrimmage, I mean. Our offensive line has dominated the line of scrimmage, and it's to the likes that I haven't seen this in a long time.
Yep. So if I'm remembering right, all 5 or 6 kickoffs have come to the right-hand side. Oh, here we go, something different. There we go, mixed it up.
Pretty good collision there, Kelly.
Yeah, there's a bunch of people that want no part of a collision like that, myself included.
And from down here, guys, I have no clue how he got out of that. I turned my head because it made me cringe.
From ground level, Ryan, does it look like Metamora is just dominant on both sides of the ball right now? I mean, they've only been on offense once for 4 plays, and we've run about 16 plays.
Yeah, so, you just got to give it to the line because the hole's just there. And granted, Jadon's making holes and finding them, but they're also there to begin with, so that helps.
Oh, look at that. Look at that.
Gang tackling. So goodness, Scott and Ryan, the things you want to look for after a great quarter like this, I guess, can you keep it up?
Yeah.
It's easy for complacency to set in and say, man, this is kind of simple. I'm curious to see, can we play this well in the second quarter?
That was a great play there by Vasquez. He stepped up, and he did not let that offensive lineman control him. He stood his ground.
Boy, that was a heck of a throw, and the kid should have probably made a good catch. Looks to me like that might be their best chance of moving the ball down the field, Scott.
Yeah, I think so too. Although, how many times can you do that? You know, the game's going to get out of control really quick if you keep.
And really, that wasn't horrible coverage there. Just a really nice throw.
Yep.
Hey, I want to thank Nick Kirker, too, for stepping in tonight and being our IT guy, our producer, everything. He's done a great job.
We hope somebody's watching.
Oh, I think there's a few.
That's well done. Sometimes a great athlete's going to make a good play.
And he's a big kid. Heck.
Hey, by the way, somebody else that deserves some props, I don't know if he gets props very often on here, Scott, is Stabby. Alex Staub putting together these game notes for tonight.
Phenomenal.
Holy cow. Very professional, Stabby. Keep it up.
Yeah, to bounce off that in and week out of the past 2 years I've been doing this, there's been a full packet of game notes ready to go from the second you get to the stadium.
Crazy.
Yeah, he is an amazing guy. And you know what? Some of the things that he has done in his podcast.
In the first quarter.
So that'll be the end of the first quarter. Redbird's up 16-0. Why don't we take some time now to thank our sponsors?
Hi, Tom.
Hey, how's the college visit?
You remembered. It's good.
Does it make the short list?
Yeah, I'm afraid so.
Knowing our clients personally is what we do.
It's okay. This is what we've been planning for.
And with over 13,000 financial advisors, we do it a lot. It's why Edward Jones is the big company that doesn't act that way.
For financial strategies and one-on-one advice, contact Kevin Kyle.
that first quarter. LaSalle-Peru with just 25, Kelly.
Well, Scott, that's more. 132 is greater than 25. That's a math thing. I don't know if you get that or not. But,
Yep.
Okay.
I have a little bit of math knowledge, not a ton.
Yep.
And the math guys are all accountants, so our stat guys are anyway.
Here's some math for you, Scott. In the last 43 seasons, LaSalle-Peru has 3 playoff victories, all in the same year, 2003. 42 of the last 43 seasons, they've not won a playoff game. So,
he dropped it. That's a good call. That's a really good call by that official. That pass was intended to Josh Seneca. He's 6'5", 181, Kelly. That's a big kid coming across the middle.
181, very precise. I admire the measurement. Scott, LP used to be a football hotbed. I don't know if you remember this, but they played in 3 straight state championship games in the 70s.
Yes.
In Class 4A, out of 5, played Joliet Catholic twice and Wheaton North once. They had things rolling, and then it just all stopped.
Well, he is a load to bring down.
He's a load. He's the one that's going to give us some trouble, but he can't do it by himself.
First down. First and 10 for the Cavaliers from the Redbird 31-yard line. We haven't gotten a turnover yet this year, Kelly.
Not yet. It's coming. Pretty good first down play. LaSalle-Peru looks a little bit more settled on offense than they did early on in the game, mixing things up a little bit. Ryan, 2nd and 1. Boy, great time to make a fun call. What do you have right now?
I mean, they're showing you right now. They got a bunch of guys wide out. Good time to take a shot.
Yep.
I think they're going to run a draw play.
Probably. Nope. Yep. Well, fellas, one thing I'll tell you about tonight is this is the most gorgeous football night you can possibly ask for. I don't know what the temperature is, but the wind is out of the north at 0. The temperature is perfect, and this is spectacular for watching a football game.
Oh, you couldn't ask for anything better.
By the way, big props to our student section. I'm looking straight across the field at our students. We got a really, really nice batch of kids at a game that's not super close to home. I believe you asked for a turnover, Scott. I tell you what, if LP recovered that, that's kind of hard to believe.
Wow.
That looked like about 3-on-1, and all 3 of our guys had a better chance than the LP guy, but somehow he sneaked out of there with it.
Yeah, from my angle, it looked like the ball fell right in front of us, and all 3 of them were looking at it, and they just couldn't believe that it was there.
Okay.
That was a nice hit by Jadon Cranford.
Yep. Don't make that extra hit.
Yeah, and that cement wall's kind of oddly close
Yep.
on that side, and he just got slammed pretty well into the concrete wall there.
It's unbelievably close. The fans are unbelievably close. You can hear fans talking to the officials, talking to the coaches. A little bit uncomfortable. I love being this close, but it's a little bit awkward.
Yeah, and the one that scares me is behind the end zone, too. Anything that goes out, any type of play that's going out the back of the end zone.
Yep.
That's incomplete. I'll bring up a 4th and about 10.
I mean, Scott, they have a great kicker, but you don't kick a field goal to make it 16-3 here, do you?
Well, I don't think so, because they do need something out of this drive, I would think. But I think if you're going to settle for 3 points, you're not doing yourself any good, because you haven't stopped Metamora yet.
Ryan, as a former kicker, what do you want here?
I mean, probably not to kick a field goal.
I mean,
No.
it doesn't do you really.
Ticket number for the 50-50. Get your ticket out. Ticket number is 014320. 014320. You can pick up your winnings at the ticket booth. $295. 014320 at the ticket booth. Thank you very much.
Yeah, as we were saying, situationally, I'm not sure the time calls for it right now. As good as their kicker really is, we're watching them easily kick 50-yarders in pregame, and I think
Right.
I've watched him get off about 75 practice kicks over there in the net. So, I mean, I'd say he's going to make it. He's ready, but
Yep.
I'm not sure if the time calls for it.
You know, you're still 2 scores down. If you kick a field goal, you're still 2 scores down. So you might as well go for it.
And it's different. In the NFL, it's an easy field goal right now, and you take your 3 points and run, but this game could get out of control pretty fast. Wow, that was an exceptional play. The quarterback got annihilated as he was throwing the football through a strike in the end zone. Really, really impressive. Couldn't get a number on that, Scott, but really, really impressive throw and a nice catch.
And he was almost getting hit while he threw that, too. Kind of a jump throw.
Yeah.
Yep. And now you're in another weird spot. You got a great, sure kicker, going to get you a point automatically, but you're down. You know, Metamora's getting 2 points every time they score. They're still going to kick here. This one might end up in the woods over that net. Just kidding.
That's a dead ball. That's a dead ball. That's a great play by. Was that Cam Davis that snuck in there and got that tackle?
I'm sorry, I couldn't tell.
Well, I think we talked about him enough to where we think.
Hartland Bank. That means a $25 donation from Hartland Bank and Trust. Thanks, Hartland, for every touchdown scored. LP will receive a $25 donation.
So Kelly, they had to have almost near perfect plays to get a ball into the end zone. I thought Metamora still played pretty good defense.
Oh, I mean, it's a nice drive, and the quarterback made good plays all the way up and down the field. They put the ball on the ground once, and we probably should have been on it, but we weren't, and they capitalized and still had to make a great fourth down throw and catch to score. And, you know, we're not, like we said, we're not going to be perfect. You know, we probably could have shut them down that drive, but, hey, props to them. They took it down the field and scored.
So that is Cranford, and who's the other one on the far side? I can't see, Kelly. What's the number? Is that Nichols?
I was not provided with digiMAX binoculars this evening, so I don't have a read on that.
Yeah, 26. 26.
Yeah, that's Nichols. Cam Nichols back deep. Our starting linebacker returning kicks. Of course, Redbirds are without Mark Fredericks, but that's going to go into the...
He's going to get a chance.
Yeah. Oh, that's a great return. That is a great return.
Real good blocking setup for him and a nice return. Good field position for the Redbirds. I thought you said that kicker was going to put it in the end zone 100% of the time, Scott.
He did last week against East Moline.
Must be this 0-mile-an-hour wind.
So it's 1st and 10, Metamora at their own 41-yard line. Redbirds come out onto the field.
Hey, his leg's getting worn out. He hasn't stopped kicking since the game started.
That's fair.
And I believe it's Evan Kyle in the backfield, number 6.
Boy, if you're going to get untouched for the first 5 yards, it's not too hard to run the football.
Kelly, I'm going to go out on the limb and say tonight you could gain 50 yards rushing.
No chance. Nope, no chance. But these guys, no problem.
The key is get behind Alec Lane and Ty Dykes. That's a pretty safe place to go.
Pretty safe. I moved pretty quickly tonight, going to the concession stand. Got myself a $1 water. Quite a bargain.
And so the home sideline has a wall there. And on this side, if you come off the turf at all, you got a sidewalk and a pile of rocks. So not the best choice.
Yeah, if you're going to hit the sideline, you might want to angle it back into the middle of the field.
Yeah, so we talked about shoehorning this field in here and how somebody decided to do it in the first place. Visually, it's spectacular, but maybe safety-wise, not quite.
Oh boy! Look at Jadon go. Touchdown, Metamora. I'll tell you what, Kelly, that was spectacular.
That's pretty solid. I was told before the season that Jadon was going to show some moves reminiscent of one Adam Duvendak.
Woo!
And I just had some flashbacks right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, asking a kid to make a tackle on that seems impossible.
I mean, the ability to cut back in the open field it's literally unguardable.
Yeah. Held him out that time. Scott, first time in 3 touchdowns. Metamora's failed on the 2-point conversion. Still a 16-point lead and looking sharp on offense.
Yeah.
Scott, I have some trivia for you while we have a break, and Ryan also. This is this is some fun trivia. You're laughing at it already. Here it comes. Here it comes. I got trivia.
Okay.
Metamora has played 5 teams in school history with 2 or more towns in the name. Hint, LaSalle-Peru is one of the 5. I want you to think about it for a little while. See how many.
There's 5 of them?
5 total.
Riverside Brookfield.
That's another one.
Mohammed Seymour, yep.
That's 3.
No, would it be like Minunk Dana Rutland?
That's 4, and that's impressive.
Is Elgin St. Edwards one?
Nice try. Nope.
Because that's the name of the school. It's one town.
Probably not Roanoke Benson.
No, but you're not too far away.
I'm going to go with...
Haven't played them in a long time, and it's very local.
Anawan Wethersfield?
No. Closer. Somebody at home's got it.
I'm going to go with something like Lexington.
A little bit closer. Might even say Woodford County.
El Paso Gridley.
Nice. That's a good one now, but when we played them, they were just El Paso. Nope. I thought you'd get.
What is it?
It's Deer Creek Mackinac.
Oh, yeah.
DMAC.
DMAC, yeah. Yeah, but you didn't think I'd get Dana Rutland.
I did not. That's our only three-town opponent in history. Those trivia questions right there, courtesy of Mr. Robert Klobnock. He's on the trivia tonight. Got to give credit.
He is very good at that.
He is. And since we're on the topic, Scott, I got one more for you, just real quick. You know that Coach Grebner has coached 26 varsity games so far. Tonight's the 27th. He's 16-10.
Okay.
That's the second highest win percentage ever in the first 26 games by a Redbird coach. In the first 26 games, who's got the highest?
Well, I think Bill Roper, but he didn't play. He didn't coach 26 games.
Didn't have 26.
So I'm going to go with Helmick.
Helmick was 24-1-1.
Yeah.
So that's pretty good. But 16-10 sneaks out second place ahead of PR.
Yeah. For his first 3 or 4 years, he was putting some things back in place.
Yep. So LP's found a little momentum right now. Had a good drive a few minutes ago, moving the ball right now. Metamora's got to reestablish itself defensively.
48-yard line, the Cavalier first down.
The early game excitement has worn off a little bit. Now it's about toughness and tenacity, and maybe defensively we don't want to think it's a little bit too easy.
Oh, that's a good play by the Metamora interior line.
Yeah, as much as the Metamora backs are getting 3-4 yards before they're getting touched, LP is they're getting handled at the line of scrimmage. They got to make anything they want on their own.
And during that trivia, I had 3 people text me to guess Low Point Washburn.
That's fantastic. I love it. No games against the Wildcats.
Didn't Roanoke Benson have a football program back in the 50s?
I don't know if it was in the 50s. At some point they did. I don't remember when they shut it down.
Oh, that's a really good play by Avery Grebner.
He stepped right in front of the receiver. That was terrific defense.
And we talked about this last week, but how far Avery Grebner's come from last year.
Yes.
I mean, you could tell how young he was last year, how inexperienced. He has just gotten so much more athletic and just much more of a playmaker, not just on defense, but on offense, too.
Well, because if he goes home, he might get yelled at.
Yeah.
He's not getting yelled at this year. He is a stud on defense and really, really valuable.
Brings up by 3rd and about 10. Oh, that's a great play by Adam Sloan, excuse me. Adam Sloan came out of nowhere and forced him out of bounds for no gain. Brings up by 4th and 10. Sloan with just an outstanding play.
Great pursuit, but also wonderful downfield coverage by the secondary, letting Sloan have a chance to make that play.
Does it look like they're going to punt?
I mean, 4th and 10. Yeah, that's a tough call right here, but it looks like it. It's a good spot on the field to run a fake if you got one, especially if you think you're playing an uphill battle.
And LP will take a timeout. 5:22 to go. Logo Wear. Shop Logo Wear in Metamora for all your Redbird gear. Mason Funeral Home, proud supporter of the Metamora Redbirds. So Kelly, 5:22 to go, first half. Metamora should get the ball back. And we'll see what kind of field position they get. But right now, I don't worry about any kind of deep field position because I think our offense, I have a lot of confidence in them right now.
We got 10 guys up on the line of scrimmage. Avery Grebner back alone. One thing I do like about him returning punts is he is very rarely going to fair catch the ball unless he's directed to. He's going to make a good play almost every time, including couldn't make a play on that one.
That's just a good play by Avery Grebner. That's just a really good play.
Yep, don't field it inside the 10.
How many times do you see players in the pros?
All of them. Almost all of them. Because everybody wants to make a play, Scott.
And it's just fundamentally so bad. And you see it in college. And, you know, it's just nice to see that you got a high school kid that didn't want to touch it.
Yep. Nice little 5-minute drive to end the half would be a thing of beauty right here. So would an 80-yard touchdown run?
Wow. That's Evan Kyle. I'm telling you, he finds those seams. And Kelly, you know, we've had some good running backs, but this is old school Metamora football here.
Well, there's a stable of them, and this is without Frederick being even in the ball game tonight. There are just several kids that know what they're doing when they get their hands on the pigskin.
You know, I saw Evan Kyle do this all last year. And, you know, he was a tight end as a freshman, and now he's
Boy, good luck on that foot race. Again, untouched through the line, Scott. Letting him get ahead of team is unfair.
Wow. I like watching Jadon Cranford run with the football, don't you?
I like watching everybody feel good tonight and not cramping up. It's it's a whole different set of circumstances playing on a night like this versus last week when it was as humid as possible and hot. It's great to see all these kids feeling good this week and showing what they got.
You know, you're going to have to start giving some credit to those big boys up front. And after this down, it's going to tell you who these guys are because they've done an outstanding job.
100%. Jump ball, got it.
Oh, got it.
Boy, there have been a lot of years when we've thrown the ball to guys that are 5'7" and 5'8". Having a receiver that's 6'5" out there that can also jump, by the way, if necessary, what a stinking luxury.
But what about Nick Rhodes just laying it in his hands?
Perfect, absolutely perfect.
You know, those guys up front, 52 Ty Dykes, and 69 Boston Cox, 72 Landon Culper, 75 Caden Kiefer, and 77 Alex Lane. They've done an unbelievable job.
And it's fun to block for guys that are going to make big plays. Well, Kendrick's going to be upset with himself he didn't get in the end zone right there. I think he thought he was going to waltz in. Somebody else was going to get a TD, presumably.
Stephen Petrie in at quarterback, and he gets about to the one. Ooh, he might be in.
LP comes out of the end zone with the football. I didn't know who had it. Well, Scott, we scored 2 touchdowns against these guys last year and 2 touchdowns the year before, and this looks a lot easier. Do you remember the only other time we played LP?
Was it 96 in the playoffs?
It was, and that was a 47-12 beatdown. This looks more like that.
This does look more like that. We scored 16 last year. Was it 14 the year before? We're going to double that in the first half, or we're going to equal that in the first half, almost.
Pretty solid first half offensively and defensively. Haven't had the occasion to see us punt the ball yet, but pretty spectacular start to the game. And we've taken this LaSalle-Peru crowd completely out of the game. They have a huge crowd here tonight.
Yeah, they do.
And we know that the bleachers are almost on top of the field. This can be a very intimidating, loud place, but they've had almost no reason to be obnoxious so far.
I think it's just very clear what the message to the running backs was this week, and that's just hit the hole and just get to it. Because last week we got a little fancy, but it's nice to see about every back we have just hit the hole and put their head down.
Yes, sir, and hold on to the football.
That's easy. Stephen Petrie in for the touchdown. Wow.
Hey, 4 possessions, 4 touchdowns. That's an efficiency rating that's pretty darn high, Scott.
Yeah, that'll get her done, won't it? So Metamora will line up and go for 2, because like Ryan says, 2 is better than 1.
It's about 100% better than 1, Scott.
Yeah.
Ooh, going to be close. Gave
Got
it to
it.
him. Well, Scott, 30 points in the first half, 4 minutes still to go. Back in the old days, not that old, but when we used to put up points like this all the time, with 4 minutes to go, you'd look over at me and say, we got time for one more.
We do. We got time for one more. Hey, Ryan, let me ask you something. When you watch Metamora right now, you're down on the field. Are those holes as big as they look up here?
Yeah, and like I was saying, the holes are huge, but we're also making them even bigger with the running backs we have because they make them just look so easy. But they really are big, and you get any of our running backs or really any of our receivers in open space, it's going to be a problem.
McDonald, not a morning person? Skip the awkward coffee talk and with McDonald's mobile order and pay curbside pickup. As Metamora gets ready to kick off again, Tommy Sopko is going to have to ice his leg.
Is it me, or did he grow a foot from last year?
He's grown quite a bit. I think it was all that, probably that tennis training in the spring helped him grow a little bit.
I've heard that.
So we mixed it up on the last kickoff by going to the opposite side of the field. Curious to see if at any point we'll try to have him kick it deep or not.
Well, he's deeper now than he's been, so maybe he is going to try and kick it deep.
Yep. Very impressive.
Wow.
Nice to be able to do several different things.
So LaSalle-Peru will come out for its. This their fourth possession? This their fourth possession?
Yes, sir. Home run. Had a step, but not quite enough.
And I know it was long, but wow, that throw.
That's pretty good, right?
That's a pretty nice throw, and that was an eyelash away from being a big play for LP.
Hey, by the way, in a fun little Mid-Illini competition tonight, Dunlap 21, Rock Island 0 right now in the first half. My sources tell me that the Eagles look solid.
Yeah, they've got a very good sophomore class. I think they only have 8 seniors, but their sophomore class is very good. They won the Mid-Illini last year as freshmen. They beat Washington.
Yep.
Brings up a 2nd and 10 for the Cavaliers.
Woo! There was your turnover, Scott.
Jadon just about got it.
Well, they're doing us a little bit of a favor throwing the ball here and stopping the clock. If we do get the ball back after this series of downs, we'll have plenty of time for one more drive.
Thank God.
Ryan, down on the sideline, you see anybody that can give you the scoop on this Howard Fellows? I'd like to know for whom this stadium was named. I'm not actually expecting you to find it out, but I'm always curious.
I'll get to work.
Yeah. Again, great downfield coverage by the secondary, just letting the interior linemen do their jobs.
I can't see who that was. Was that Sam Bagol? I can't see.
Give it to the collective group. That was a group sack.
They stayed in their lanes. They didn't get wide. They didn't get upfield. They stayed put. They forced him up in the pocket, and there was Ryan Bagol. Brings up a 4th and about 18. Well, that's exactly what they had.
Who's got the binoculars? Who's back here with Avery Grebner?
That is
86.
86 is Eden Code.
Okay.
Oh, he shanked it.
Well, that's pretty good field position.
Yeah, that is. That's going to be dead at about the 36-yard line.
Goes out of bounds. Metamora will take over. And 40-yard line. 1st and 10.
The ball landed out of bounds at about the 40-yard line, but it was well out of bounds. It should have been at about the 30. It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Hey, our stat crew here. I have a question for the stat crew. I heard a rumor that we had 132 yards in the first quarter. Any idea where we're at right now? 271. That's a solid half of football. Oh, first penalty of the game, I believe.
It's not delay a game. It looks like it's against LP. They've got 12 men on the field. They're waving off the flag. I was going to say, I thought they had 11. Cranford in the backfield along with Cam. No, that's
Evan Kyle was back there also.
Yeah. Boy, Kelly, he was another eyelash away.
I mean, he just looked so fresh tonight. Like everybody else last week, he looked a little bit tired at times, a little bit winded, a little bit crampy. Man, he just looks so fresh. And he's going both ways, too.
Well, a little bit.
A little bit.
Yep. Brings up a 3rd down and about 7.
By number 65, Cameron Olivero. Lost a few yards on the play. The 3rd and long 7. Metamora.
Well, this is where Nick Dolinsky just gets to reach into his bag of tricks and have a good time. There's a whole bunch of different things you could see right here. I'd like to see a little screen, to be honest.
Oh, and you've got the perfect guy in there for that because Evan Kyle has great hands.
Uh-huh.
Quarterback is brought down in the backfield by number 71, Ty Turzik.
That's okay. It's going to be under a minute.
Also 5 on the play.
Well, the only drama here is will we score on every possession in the first half or not? 4th and 13. That's a tricky little situation here. You know how the first half ended last week with Sterling scoring in the last few seconds? Don't want to have a repeat of that.
So we're going to take it down to about 21 seconds, call a timeout, and then we're going to throw one deep down the sideline, and Kedrick Shaffron's going to get his touchdown because that's the first time Kedrick Shaffron's caught a ball and not scored a touchdown.
I like how you can see the future.
You know that every one of his receptions prior to that one earlier in the quarter, every one of his receptions have been for a touchdown.
Well, to be fair, I've never caught a ball and not scored either.
But you got to catch the ball.
I mean, that's a fair point you're making. Yep.
Ryan, does this remind you a little bit of the first half against Rock Island your senior year?
Yeah, it really does. And it's funny that you say that because I had one of the guys I played with, Austin Asbury, actually text me today talking about, man, you remember that first half from Rock Island? I think it was 42-0 in the first half. And really, we came in that game, we were like, oh, boy, they're big. I think they had a couple of big D1 linemen. I definitely got picked up off my feet and thrown about 6 feet a couple of times. But that was a fun first half for sure. But that was about as much of a cramp fest as last week was too.
So Metamora will send Petrie back deep for the punt.
Just need a good snap here, Scott. Get off a good kick. Go into halftime with a big lead. That's going to work.
We're inside the 10. And they're going to get the ball with about 7 seconds to go. I mean, that's perfect.
Cavaliers will take over on down. 1st and 10 from their own 5-yard line.
Well, Kelly, a 30-point first half. I think Colton Kaler might have to reapply.
Yeah, this you haven't had me up here in the broadcast booth in quite some time. I did lots of games in the late 90s and early 2000s, but I don't think I've done a football broadcast since about the Canton playoff game in 2002. You just didn't want me back.
But we scored a bunch of points in that one, too.
Well, that's a fair point. Yep. 56. We did that one from the roof of their press box. I thought it was going to fall down the entire night.
I was white-knuckled. I went home and had to ice my hands. And that'll do it for the first half. The Redbirds will take a 30-6 lead into the halftime locker room. Well, Kelly,
The first half.
you wanted to see improvement. I believe you got improvement.
Yeah, definitely want to see improvement. That was a pretty flawless first half. Now, LP, again, I'm not sold yet whether they're a great football team, but they're a solid football team and put together a big win last week. And that was a comprehensive performance, offense, defense, just a very good-looking first half by the Redbirds.
We'll be back in just a few minutes with the first half stats. Second half. Well, welcome back to LaSalle-Peru. Go with the first half stats. First for the Cavaliers, 14 rushing attempts for 31 yards. Passing, they are 5 of 11 for 42 yards and 1 touchdown. They have a total of 73 offensive yards. Now for Metamora. Jadon Cranford, 10 rushes for 122 yards and a touchdown. Evan Kyle, 4 rushes for 24 yards. Nick Rhodes, 5 attempts for 27 yards and 2 touchdowns. Stephen Petrie, 3 rushes for 7 yards and 1 touchdown. That's 22 rushing attempts, 180 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Receiving, Cranford has 1 for 6. Grebner has 3 for 25. Shaffron 1 for 18. Petrie has 1 for 39. That was Shaffron.
Once again, the Open Football Moms Club would love to thank our sponsors.
They have 88 yards receiving on 6 catches. Nick Rhodes is for 7 for 88 yards. Total offense, 268 yards and 4 touchdowns. Well, Kelly, pretty impressive. Pretty impressive. We've talked about it quite a bit, but let's face it, Metamora's come out and played probably a little better than we even thought they were.
Yeah, what'd you say, 268 yards of offense in the first half? Against a team that, held East Moline to 2 touchdowns last week. Just very efficient. All 4 drives that wound up being touchdowns were just really clean up and down the field. And defensively, same thing. We only gave up what you said a minute ago, 70-some yards. And they just happened to convert a 4th down for a touchdown. The only reason they're on the board. Great first half for the Redbirds.
So Kelly, Metamora gets ready to kick off to start this second half.
And the last time we saw Tommy Stopko kick off, he sent one into the end zone. Doesn't look like a repeat performance here. It's great spot. Oh, that ball was recoverable and didn't quite get on it, I don't.
Yeah, but it was
Not
pretty
quite.
close.
And again, I like the diversity in the kicks tonight. Kind of all over the field.
30-yard line, first and 10.
Well, the Washington Panthers are going to have some things to prepare for next week.
Yeah.
They're up here obviously scouting this one, and boy, we're showing a whole bunch of different things, both offensively and defensively, that have been really kind of stunning, kind of in a great, great way.
And they're in a dogfight tonight with Kankakee. It's knotted up at 0 at halftime.
Yeah, which tells you how stout they are defensively. So, next week Metamora, like we said, is going to have to do various things offensively to move the football.
Pretty good play by Boudreaux. Second and 4 for
Scott, I don't know why I can't remember this, but Michael Fay was number 15, yes?
Yes.
I'm getting Michael Fay vibes every time I watch this kid.
Michael was a little bit quicker, but this
Yeah.
is pretty good. He's as close as we've seen.
By the way, apologies to Michael. He was a lot quicker. Let's not just say a little.
And Romanoli barely got back to line of scrimmage. Going to bring up a 3rd and about 4.
I am going to give a challenge to the MTHS student section. They are plentiful in numbers tonight, and I'm really impressed. I can't hear you, though. I want you to be louder. I want you to have coordinated cheers. Let's get after it.
They may not be able to hear that request.
Yeah, I know. That is terrific. I can't.
Ty Dykes.
Ty Dykes with a great play in the backfield.
I bring up a 4th and about 11 for LP, and that'll send their punt unit on. Grebner, and is that Cote again? Impressive 3 and out.
Ooh, line drive returnable. Nope.
The LP player boxed him out like a basketball rebound. I'm not sure why we were trying to get in there.
From their own 32-yard line. Second, 32.
So Metamora will get it on the 32-yard line for their first possession here this second half.
Well, Scott, you wanted to see Metamora come out in the second half with the same firepower they did in the first. Defensively, you can't ask for more than a 3 and out. Offensively, let's see if they can possibly be as crisp as they were in that first half. We also understand Ryan Vogel has an answer to the Howard Fellows question, name of the stadium. Give him a chance in a minute.
All right, we got our Howard Stadium answer, courtesy of Ryan Davis, Germantown Hills athletic director, and 2 or 3 time, I'll go with the over because I don't want to short him, state champion girls basketball. Howard Fellows began his coaching career in 1913, became the AD in 1928, and until he retired in 1959.
Holy moly, that's a long time.
Wow.
Good research, Ryan. Thanks to Ryan Davis also. And by the way,
Look at this!
Oh, boy.
Wow! Holy cow! He's a video game.
Somebody just yelled, he's a video game, and that's not far off. That's pretty good. Jadon with now 186 yards, if my math is correct, on 11 carries. What a night. Thanks, Ryan, for that report on Howard Fellows. I appreciate that. And for the record, the MTHS student section is all of a sudden very loud. I don't think they possibly could have gotten the challenge, but maybe I just started listening better.
And Tommy Sopko comes on for the extra point. And he got it.
Well, that's strategic right there, going for 1. Now it gives us a 31-point lead instead of 32, so that on our next touchdown we can't be 40 ahead. I like that.
that is. I love that strategy.
There's no chance that's why he went into kick, but I'm going to think that's why he went into kick.
Well, Nick's smart enough to figure that out.
Is he? I guess he is. He's a bright dude. Well, gosh, Scott, first series each way in this half, maybe better than the first half.
That was
hard to beat that.
That was ridiculous.
I want to see that run back. Was that you being all giddy on the sidelines saying he's a video game? Was that your voice?
I said it was a video game.
I thought so. For the record, he's a sophomore.
Yeah, he can't even drive to practice.
That's not terrible for the future also. And full disclosure, he's getting a whole bunch of giant holes to run through. But gosh darn it, once he gets through them, he is doing some stuff on his own as well.
And he picked up a slew of blockers on that sideline once he got free.
And he's just a guy where if you're a DB coach in high school, that's your worst nightmare.
Absolutely. Very good one-on-one tackle on the kickoff team. Kids who don't get a lot of credit, but that's a big deal right there. I don't have a program in front of me.
Is that number 24?
26.
26, that's Cam Nickel. He's a pretty good player.
Yep.
Cavaliers will have a first down and 10 from their own 36-yard line.
Got to have kids that excel in special teams as well if you're going to be a special football team, and so it's good to see plays like that. Ryan, is there anything to complain about so far tonight? Can you, is there stale popcorn being passed around or anything you can think of?
My feet hurt.
Okay, that's good.
That's about it.
All right.
Pretty good play by LP there. Romanoli.
Yeah, they're trying to find something that'll work, and they keep having to do different things. Redbird defenders are all over the place. That was a very nice play.
Oh, man, that's a 1-yard gain. That's a nice play. I can't see who that was.
I think that was Cam Nickel in the mix again.
Cam Nickel again.
Hearing his name a lot, Scott.
Yep. Kelly, why don't you tell us a little bit about your new endeavors this school year?
Scott. After 24 years in the classroom, I'm doing something different this year at MTHS. Still coaching tennis, but kind of heading up the alumni and community relations group. Our goal is to honestly spread the amazing word that is MTHS to as many human beings as possible. We know there's 10 or 12,000 living alumni, but there's also thousands of friends of MTHS that maybe didn't go to school here that still care a lot about this place. And so I'm sending newsletters, I'm sending emails, doing all kinds of things to try to get that interest level as high as possible. And in that regard, Scott, thanks for bringing it up. If you want to be getting newsletters and emails from our office, get on the school's website, mths.us. If you click on alumni, I promise one of the links says something like, fill out your name and email here and I will contact you, something like that.
Brings up a 3rd and 11. That's overthrown. That poor kid might just join the cross-country team after this.
Good grief. I will tell you this. That quarterback can throw the football down the field. That was nowhere near the intended receiver, but that was a heave.
Yeah. Brings up a 4th and 11 for the Cavaliers, and that'll send on the LP punt unit. Back deep again is Gote and Grebner. I got a feeling Grebner could return this.
I keep thinking we're set up to make a return, but we haven't been able to field a punt yet. This one, there we go. One good cut. It's a big luxury to be able to field a punt and return it 20 yards.
Yeah. You just got to make one guy miss.
Yeah, a lot of punt returners, Scott, you kind of hold your breath when the ball's up in the air. You're like, boy, I hope he actually makes this catch and doesn't fumble the ball. With Avery, he's just so sure-handed. I have no doubts he's coming down with the football every time.
From their own 44.
The Redbirds will come on for their second possession here in this second half. Redbirds lead 37-6.
Oh, that's too bad. LP got a timeout before that play got off.
Yeah, timeout. LP.
Timeout on the field, LaSalle-Peru.
You know, I want to take some time to thank our sponsors once again. Commerce Bank, challenge accepted, helping you and our community grow. Commerce Bank. Goodfield State Bank, big enough to serve you, small enough to know you. Hanover's Pub, kitchen open late every weekend. See you on the square. Kirby Food, be sure to Kirby Food, check out their signature Kirby items in the deli and meat departments. Kirby Foods is proud to be 100% employee-owned. As we get ready here for this 1st and 10 for the Redbirds to start this drive.
Heel with the carry.
Evan Kyle with, is that Kyle with the carry? That was Kyle with the carry.
No gain.
No gain. Oh, wow. No gain on the play.
Hey, Ryan Vogel, I got a question for you. I know you're a fabulous Division I baseball player, having a great career at Bradley University. But, man, when you're on the field on a beautiful night like this, what do you miss about high school football?
Just hitting somebody.
Yeah.
Really, I'm in too much of a non-contact sport now. But I don't know. There's something about just playing with the kids you grew up with is the most fun thing.
Sure.
'Cause, I mean, so a lot of the times you ask any high school football player or any high school player in general, a lot of the times they're going to tell you their fondest memories weren't even on the field.
Yep.
For the Redbirds.
I think that goes for lots of sports, to be honest.
Yeah, it's just going out to eat night before the game,
Yep.
having team meals, stuff like that. That's where the memories are made. And
Yep.
you don't always remember the wins and losses, but you do remember the time you spend with your friends.
Well said.
He almost ran him over and it kept going.
3rd and 10, no problem. Give it to J-Dot and see what he can do.
Pickup of about 7, not quite. Brings up a 4th and 3. No hill for a climber, Kelly.
Pretty impressive.
With the run for the first down, brought down by number 55, the Wisconsin.
Well, it took about 25 years, Scott, but Kurt Ryan rubbed off on everybody in the Metamora program. Nobody likes punting the football. 4th and 3, that was never a thought right there.
Yeah. Cranford over 200 yards for the night. 4:42 to go here in the Oh, he dropped it.
That was
Right.
a beautiful throw, put only where our receiver could make the catch. Well done. Just happened to come down without the football.
Every pass is just right there.
Is that Kyle again, Scott?
I believe. It's Evan Kyle, yeah. And no gain.
No gain on the play. 3rd and Redbirds.
Scott, you tell me if you remember this, but I remember when I was a sophomore, once playing for Coach Kurt. We were backed up on our own goal line.
Sure.
We punted on 3rd down.
Stop it.
Well,
True story.
I call that blasphemy, but
He had seen enough.
He'd seen enough. Oh, ran out of time.
By the way, we should mention that Coach Kurt is one of the inductees to the 2023 Hall of Fame. Going in the coach category, an exceptional career, football, basketball, taking care of Malone Field. Hard to find a bigger lover of MTHS than Kurt Ryan, and so congrats to him.
And LP will take another timeout.
Well, Scott and Ryan, next Friday is shaping up to be a fun encounter at Malone Field. If we can get a night like this with the weather, there could be, 100,000 people there?
Maybe 1 million. If it's standing room.
I don't want to discourage anybody from coming, so there'll be plenty of room for everyone, I promise.
Yes.
But, man, if it's a night like this, come on out and just enjoy what high school football is all about.
And if you're not really worried, you're not concerned about the football, they'll have the best taffy apples that you can get in the county.
Next week?
Oh, yeah. The taffy apples are phenomenal.
I got to try one of those. I haven't had one.
Oh, Kelly, they'll make your toes curl.
Oh, my goodness.
As Colton would say last week, not a pretty sight to imagine.
Where is Colton tonight? The masses are missing him.
Well, he's getting married later in the year.
Blah, blah, blah. Where's your priorities, Colton? No, he'll be back next week, I'm assuming, to do the Washington game. We miss you, Colton.
But the last 2 games you've done with us, Kelly, we've scored a boatload of points.
I like some offense. That one wasn't quite as good.
Oh, there's got to be a clip. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't think Rhodes was really hit on the play. I think ball came out a little weird. As soon as you saw it, you saw the weird kind of knuckleball spin. Didn't look pretty. I think he just lost a little control right at the end.
Yep.
The illegal block on the return.
Well, Scott, I'm just going to put this out there, but in all the games that I've done with you over the years, football and basketball, never have been part of a loss. So just, put that in your pocket and keep that in mind.
Yep.
If there's a big moment that you need something extra special for, I'm there for you, maybe. Maybe.
Hey, Scott, your basketball streak is going pretty well right now, too.
Yeah, we've done all right.
Ryan, I also have to tell you that I think my favorite football game I ever did was with your dad, the Richwoods Metamora playoff game in 2000, 42-35, epic comeback in the fourth quarter.
Yes, down 2 scores.
I don't have any idea why it was Scott Vogel and I on the call that
because
day.
That wasn't Redbird replay.
Okay.
That was another thing. That was what it was originally.
Gotcha.
We're gonna need him. We're gonna need to scratch and claw to get him back on here. But he might be mowing the lawn right now. So I'm not.
Oh, Gavin O'Loughlin with the nice. Some of these guys haven't gotten mentioned tonight because they just haven't had they've gotten tackled before they've gotten to them.
Yep, or it's been a gang tackle, and hard to differentiate who's doing it. I don't know who to be more impressed by tonight, the offensive side of the ball or the defensive side of the ball. They've both been really spectacular for the most part the whole night.
We got to think about who we're going to name as the player of the game. I think we got a good idea who we should be naming. Dan Poplet. That's just a little over 3 and bring up a 3rd and long for LP.
And it looks like they're rolling. That was their backup quarterback there.
Yeah.
Who also we were watching in pregame, and wow, can he throw? And you just saw it there. I mean, a little off target, but that was on the run.
Yeah.
And that's a backup in there at quarterback, not because of an injury, but because of, hey, it's late in the 3rd quarter and this game's out of hand. Yeah, I see 15 on the sideline, looking fine and healthy.
Oh yeah, he
might be done for the night. Who knows?
Yeah, and there's really no reason for him to be out there anymore.
Right.
He's taken some pretty good hits. Cam Nichols again.
Well, Scott, I lost track of total yardage in the second half, but I can't believe that LP has increased their halftime number by all that much.
No, I think they've actually gone backwards a little bit. This is not a bad team. We've just come out tonight and played awfully well.
That is a big punt. That's a 58-yard punt. Not too shabby. Aided a little bit by the turf, but 58 yards is 58 yards.
You can tell this is a little bit older turf because it gets on this and it bounces. It gets on our turf and it dies. It barely even bounces.
Yeah, you don't see any rubber pellets jumping up when the ball lands here tonight.
No.
Yeah, a lot of the coaches were saying last week, you just kind of need our turf to get broken in a little bit more. It needs some rain to settle the turf a little bit more because it was pretty common last week to see Jay Don and a couple other guys trying to jab step, and it just kind of they kind of sank right into the ground.
Yeah, it played more like grass.
It did. It did. The Redbirds come onto the field.
And judging from the speed and the cutting ability that some of our guys seem to have, we need that rain really quickly. Let's settle that field and make it play like this.
Yeah, we maybe get the fire department to come down and hose it down. As we close in on the end of the 3rd quarter, Redbirds up 37-6. Whole new offense, it looks like, coming onto the field for Metamora. Can you see is that still Rhodes at quarterback?
I can't see that far, to be honest.
Yeah, it looks like it is.
Yeah, 10.
First by number 52, Beavers.
And by the sounds of it down here, we went back to first-team offense.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it is. It is. That'll be the end of the 3rd quarter. Take this time again to thank our sponsors.
That is the end of the 3rd quarter. Redbirds 37, and 6.
Sue's Place. Win or lose, there's always Sue's. Merrill Lynch. Big advice from a small town advisors. Metamora Fields, where you're always welcome. Come for a quick bite after a round of golf. As we head into the fourth quarter, Metamora up 37-6. Kyle once again picks up about 4 or 5 yards. It'll be just a little short. Brings up a fourth and about 2. That'll bring on the Redbird punt unit.
Scott, to top off the night, I just got myself a $3 pork chop that they're trying to get rid of at the end of the night, and it is spectacular.
Yeah, they are. They're pretty good. They're pretty good. Boy, he's had the benefit of some nice rolls. Down inside the 20, down to about the 18-yard line. We close out this fourth quarter.
So, Ryan, this stadium has the bleachers as close to the football field as any stadium I think I've ever been to. You can hear the fans very clearly, individual fans, talking to officials, talking to coaches. Have you heard anything interesting down there?
Yeah, nothing more than our super fan, Paul Schwenk.
Nice. Give Paul our best.
We need a next stat. How many football games has Paul Schwenk missed?
Ooh. Right, count them on both hands. Hey, Ryan, can you get an idea of who the injured player is?
Yep.
Well, it's an LP player.
Yeah, it's going to be, for LP, looks like 65 or 55. 65.
That looks like maybe just a leg cramp. You know, it's not a serious injury, but man, it sure does feel like it, doesn't it? When you get a leg cramp like that.
Yeah, and you might not think about it at the time, but you get sore for a couple days too.
Oh man, especially if it's reoccurring. You know, you get it. You know, if you just get one and you wipe it off, but man, if it just keeps coming back, whew. Well, that's good defense there. Can't see the number of that kid.
9.
That's Shock?
Man, that's a good tackle.
That's Brad Shock. He's that's a nice because if the quarterback gets past him, there is a little bit of green out there.
And you love to see kids do the roll tackle like that. It's just that's how tackles are supposed to be made in the open field. And it's overall that's the safer way of tackling.
Carry hit first by number 4, McNeil. Also, he got the 31 of the Cavs.
Wes McNeil, senior linebacker. Pretty good job by Metamora to kind of keep contained there.
Done by number 53, Jackson.
Scott, I'm currently watching a game of dog tag up here behind the stadium. A couple of dogs are getting after it. Looking for some entertainment outside of the field. So far, it looks cordial. I dare say there will not be a return on this kick.
No, there's nobody back. We've had worse field position.
Metamora will take over on down from their own 34.
Yeah, LP's quarterback is indeed their best player, but their kicker and punter had a pretty solid night too.
Yeah.
It's been about one of their highlights. Well, the Vegas line tonight, Scott, was Metamora minus 31.5. Currently 31, so got a little work to do.
Yeah, yep.
No, that's not at all true. Who knows what it would have been, but this result has been really, really satisfying, at least for Redbird fans.
You got some new players in there. We can't.
And here's a score update for you from Dunlap. With the fourth quarter just getting underway, Dunlap's leading 21-7.
Over Rock Island.
Over Rock Island. And if you don't have it yet, there is a new IHSA football app.
Nice.
Very handy. Looks very good. And you can find about any score possible, live and finals.
Yes, sir.
Quarterback right now behind Brady Magnus. Towards the end, 23.
And it looks like from Washington, with 7 minutes left in the fourth, they're trailing Kankakee 7-3.
Yep. Is that still Rhodes out there at quarterback? Yeah.
And then a tough night over in Pekin, for Pekin. Belleville East leading them 34-7 with 4 minutes left in the fourth.
That's a good long regular season winning streak coming to an end for the Dragons. Went 9-0 in the regular season last year and started off with a win last week.
Timeout, Metamora.
Impressive for Dunlap, though. Taking Rock Island to the woodshed is good stuff. And gosh darn, Washington holding Kankakee to one touchdown
is pretty impressive.
Is defensively, just because Kankakee always has speed to just enough
burn.
speed for anybody, speed to burn, yeah.
And good night for Morton. Morton just squeaks by Rochelle 27-26.
Good for them. That's Muhammad Seymour and Rochelle. It's a good, solid non-conference schedule. New coaching staff in Morton, 2-0 to start the year. Mid Illini's looking solid. Well, in the first half, Coach Zielinski had pretty much any play he wanted to call was going to work. I'm not sure he's got a 3rd and 21 play in the fourth quarter of a 37-6 game.
No.
With the by 80 minutes others.
And here's an update from Chuck Taylor on that Kankakee-Washington game. He said Kankakee's only touchdown, a 97-yard return after a Washington field goal.
Oh, no. So the Washington defense has given up 0 points to Kankakee. Yeah, so moving the ball next week, not going to be as simple as it was in the first half tonight, for sure.
All right.
And speaking of Kankakee special teams, back in 2016, we went to Kankakee, and I remember pregame they said, guys, they've scored a special teams touchdown in every single game this season.
Wow.
And they scored 1 touchdown in that game, punt return.
Yep.
And me being a sophomore kicker, I was horrified.
I just remember they had a fullback that had long hair hanging out the back of his jersey or back of his helmet, and he weighed about 260. And they brought him in on short yardage, and it was some of the loudest pops I had ever heard. They had some talent. You know, I think Kankakee's getting all that talent that used to go to Bishop Mack.
Very well could be. Yep.
And that field has since been turfed, too, since we've been there. It looked very good.
And all new press box, everything. Some new bleachers. I think the visitor side all got new bleachers.
And I remember, I don't really remember them having a press box much, but I remember them having a live DJ for the game.
Yeah, they did. They did. That game was played in Washington tonight, wasn't it?
Believe so, yep. I talked to a lady today who went to Bishop McNamara, and she was telling me that when she went to school there, they did not have tuition. 0. No tuition. You gave what you could at church extra if you were a student at Bishop Mac, and they just took it. And their student body was much, much bigger than it is now. So Bishop Mac is down way, way, way in size, and you're probably right. Kankakee High School and Bradley Bourbonnais have benefited from Bishop Mac shrinking.
Wow.
Can you imagine no tuition?
That's amazing. And that they were able to still have things. There's emotion.
Well, this pork chop gets an A+. We almost needed the Heimlich on me once during the consumption of said pork chop, but boy, that's a good sandwich.
Yeah, I had a $6 one before the game started.
Sucker.
Was yours double stacked? Mine was double stacked.
Yeah, mine was too.
Ooh, single stacked, but boy, there's some topping on there. Some seasoning. Boy, that's good.
I was gonna say whatever the seasoning was.
Some sort of marinade.
That's what we're missing is a Colton Kaler pork chop review tonight.
That was a fumble. They fumbled the ball. Yeah.
Fumbled on the play, covered by the Cavaliers. Loss of a yard on the play. Second.
Closing in on 3 minutes to go here in this ball game. It's all Metamora.
One TD on the night for the Cavaliers on a fourth down heave. Well-executed heave, but still a fourth down heave in the first half.
Great play. I mean, The kid made a play. You got to give him credit. Sometimes the defense wins, or sometimes the offense does win.
Yes, sir. Little strange night tonight in the first game, Scott and Ryan. Neither one of these schools has an official sophomore team. Metamora has, of course, a JV team. LP has a frosh soph team. Couldn't exactly get agreement on what style games to play. Wound up playing sophomores against sophomores, even though neither school has that team. LP did win that game. Was it 16-8?
Yeah.
Freshman team defeated Peoria Notre Dame last night, 20-7. Real nice win for the freshmen. They're 2-0.
And they're a very green team. That freshman team is they have some talent. They just don't have a lot of kids that have played a lot of football. There's talent, crazy amount of talent on that team. Athleticism. Woo.
I believe that Coach Kurt is very, very excited about that team.
Yes, he is.
I would imagine the Washington freshman team is going to be a difficult task next Friday. That'll probably be a heck of a ball game to be at.
Yep. We'll be interviewing Coach Grebner after this game. I'm sure he'll be very happy with the way things turned out.
Well, Scott, do you know the future schedule in terms of non-conference? Is this the first of a two-year deal?
I think it is, because last year was the end of that deal.
Yep.
I'm sure this is a new deal with them. And, I don't mind it. I'd like to get that Fresh South thing all worked out a little better. But
it's a lovely place to come play, and it's a solid opponent. It's not going to be outstanding, but they're not going to be terrible. It's a good opponent to play. You just wonder how many years in a row we can win this game and have them still sign a contract.
Yeah.
And on top of that, it's an easy drive, too.
It is.
I think it'll take about 3 turns to get here.
Yeah. I think you're right.
My driver tonight took Route 89 all the way to Spring Valley and turned right. There was no interstate involved in our trip whatsoever. And I got to tell you, I've been almost everywhere in the state of Illinois, and I'm embarrassed to say I don't think I had ever been through Spring Valley.
What? You never went
to
Spring Valley back in the day when we used to play them in football?
I was like 2.
Kelly.
Yep, I must say, I did not recognize it. I don't think I've ever been there, which is crazy.
Do you know who the coach at Spring Valley was back in the day when we used to play him?
Gary Vicini.
No, he came afterwards.
Whatever. Then I don't.
Dan Darlington.
I think you made that up. No, that's right. I remember him coming from there.
Too much time.
And that was a neat little town to drive through, too.
For sure. Hey, speaking of Dan Darlington, I'll give you a little trivia here, Scott, on the way out. LP has made the last 2 times LP's made the playoffs. They've gotten spanked by
Rochester and I think Morris.
The last 2 have both been Morris. Yeah, Rochester was right before that, and then Morris the last 2 times. So they've had some rough first-round draws on years when they've made the playoffs.
So Metamora will take over on downs. Just under a minute to go in the ball game.
Student section took until 53 seconds to go to believe that we will win. They did the I believe that we will win cheer. I've kind of had that belief for about an hour and 45 minutes.
Yeah, I think you're probably right.
No, real good job by the students tonight. Once I started paying attention, they have been loud.
As the Redbird offense comes onto the field.
Just got to update Washington game. Alex Staub. Washington converts on 4th and short, charging for a walk-off win with 1:25 left, down 7-3.
Excellent.
So they beat them. They beat Kankakee?
Not yet.
And that'll be a knee, and they'll probably have to take one more knee.
Scott and Ryan, that's been a pleasure being with you guys tonight. That's a fun trip to Howard Fellows Field. Thanks for the update, Ryan, on why it was named. Great night for the Redbirds.
Always awesome to come here. I think first time coming here 2 years ago. Love the stadium. You get a good view when you're coming down the street behind our sideline.
Yes, sir.
I've never seen the chain gang just leave with still time on the clock. Normally, they darted like they had a date. And that'll do it from Howard Fellows Stadium. Redbirds win 37-6. We'll be back in just a few minutes with the end of the game stats and a chat with head coach Jared Grebner. Well, here's the stats. First, for LP, 29 rushing attempts for 32 yards. They were 6 for 14 passing for 55 yards. They ended the game with 87 yards. I think they had 88 in the first half. They lost 1 yard somewhere along the way and 1 touchdown. For Metamora, Jadon Cranford, 13 attempts for 202 yards and 2 touchdowns. And were they exciting to watch? Evan Kyle, 11 attempts for 35 yards. Nick Rhodes, 8 carries for 20 yards and 2 touchdowns. Stephen Petrie, 3 attempts for 7 yards and 1 touchdown. They had 35 attempts, 264 yards in total with 5 touchdowns. Cranford with 1 reception for 6. Grebner 3 for 25. Schafferin 1 for 18. Petrie 1 for 39. They had 6 receptions for 88 yards. Rhodes was 6 for 10 and those 88 yards. They had 264 yards rushing, 88 yards passing, 5 TDs rushing for a grand total of 352 yards and 5 touchdowns. That's a pretty healthy night for the Redbirds. I'll make my way down to the field and I'll get an interview with head coach Jared.
Hi, Tom.
Hey, how's the college visit?
You remembered. It's good.
Does it make the short list?
Yeah, I'm afraid so.
Knowing our clients personally is what we do.
It's okay. This is what we've been planning for.
And with over 13,000 financial advisors, we do it a lot. It's why Edward Jones is the big company that doesn't act that way.
For financial strategies and one-on-one advice, contact Kevin Kyle.
Central Illinois, you asked for it and we listened. Germantown Grill is growing to meet customer demand, adding more dining space and a private gaming area featuring games powered by Gold Rush, the gold standard in video gaming. And Germantown Grill still has all the food and spirits that keep our customers coming back. Stop by to check out our daily specials. The game's on at Germantown Grill, where Central Illinois loves to eat. Open 7 days a week, just off Route 116.
Building a life is different for everyone because everyone is different. That's why State Farm is there.
Contact Greg Harmon for a quote today.
Welcome back to LaSalle-Peru High School. Coach, what a win tonight. Your kids came out tonight from the get-go and just took control.
Yeah, we were able to take the ball, and I think our offense set the tone. That first drive was a really fun drive to watch. I think Coach Zielinski really loved calling that drive. Things were kind of going to script. And so when you have drives like that can set the tone for the rest of the game is a big deal. And it gives the rest of the team, the defense, special teams, a big confidence boost.
Yeah, I thought so too. And the fact you guys came out and 4 of your first 5 plays were pass plays. And Nick Rhodes was 4 for 4.
Yeah, and that our offensive staff does a great job. Nick Zielinski, Ryan Otto, Andy Simmons, those guys do a fabulous job week in and week out game planning for what the defense is going to give us, and exploiting and using our talents that we have. I mean, it's nice that we don't have to just run. I still like to run the ball, don't get me wrong, but when you have other weapons on the outside and you have plenty of confidence in Nick being able to throw the ball where he needs to, it makes for a really fun offense.
Yeah, and then, the other thing I thought was nice was you had Mark Fredericks was out with illness, but your backfield, as deep as it is, you had no problems. Jadon Cranford tonight was just spectacular.
Yeah, oh, he had some plays where all of a sudden you think he gets lost in the shuffle and he's kind of wiggling his way through there, and all of a sudden he'll jump cut and boom, he explodes for 10 more yards, sometimes even more, for a couple of those touchdowns. So he had a really good night, but a lot of that is, credit to the offensive linemen up front. They made the holes initially, and then they stayed on their blocks just so they couldn't get off while Jadon and some of the other backs were wiggling through there.
Yeah, I thought that was outstanding. And you mentioned your offensive line, and all 5 of those guys tonight were just outstanding. And, it's nice when it seems like every play you guys were calling up was working.
And that's a credit to these kids. They really buy into our game plan, and they really want to, succeed. They want to be held accountable to their teammates and do the right thing. And all of these guys are students of the game. And so to have those guys really listen, to really buy in, to watch film, and just to understand what we're asking to do, that's all on the kids. And, that's what this game's all about, is the kids. And they put forth the effort, day in and day out to understand the game plans. And they did a fabulous job tonight.
Coach, you go to 2-0 and you start conference play next week, and I guess you just started with the big one right off the bat. You got Washington coming to town, and it's going to be a barn burner. There's going to be a huge crowd. Got to be excited about that.
Anytime you get a chance to play Washington, is always exciting. I was telling the kids earlier, you don't have to say a whole lot and get them ready, for Washington week. If it doesn't give you goosebumps, just knowing that you're gonna be going up against them, then I don't know how much of a football player you are, or really any kind of competitor, because the week does mean a little bit something, right? It has a little extra, in there, and so to getting ready for these guys. I haven't heard how they did tonight or anything like that.
They lost. They lost 7-3.
7-3, and I mean that's a phenomenal, Kankakee team. Washington State ranked in 6A for a reason. They're well coached. You got Coach Crouch,
final year
in his final year, and those kids over there at Washington, they're always a physical team. They're always a well coached team, and those guys are probably looking to send Coach Crouch out with a victory. But no matter what, it's always a good game. It's a fun rivalry, and, it's just going to be fun to get back out there on Malone Field in front of a nice crowd.
Coach, congratulations. We'll let you go in here. I know you got a little bit of a drive back home, and it's getting kind of late, but congratulations, and we'll see you next Friday night.
All right, thank you very much.
That'll do it from LaSalle-Peru, Howard Fellow Stadium, one of the best places in the state to come play a football game. But Redbirds win 37-6. We'll see you next Friday night at Malone Field.